So thank you very much to one of our channel members for suggesting this video. What have I learned from a few years now of reviewing guns? There is positives and negative things that I have learned, and I'm going to start with the negatives. It's a much bigger list. It's always easy to remember the bad things than it is the good things. All right, so first things first. The bad things is the sheer quantity of marketing hype that goes on in the gun world is obscene. The sheer quantity of guns that just don't need to exist, but do exist. I mean, and I get that everyone has a personal opinion and everyone wants something slightly different, and we're all used to a huge variety. But it seems that to me like a lot of these guns are produced just so that you have to buy a new gun. Most guns don't really have like an engineered obsolescence, do they? And as such, they use marketing hype to make you feel like you need the new one. It's not like a car that really does only last 20 years, a push. You buy a Beretta 686, that thing's gonna last you 200 years. That's insane. That's such a good gun. You look after that thing and don't abuse it too much, you'll get 200 years. Caveat. Not that you'll know, you'll be dead. However, what makes you need to upgrade it to a new one? Well, the answer is you'll hit more clays, or you'll shoot better, or it's prettier, and there's all these things. But most of that is just marketing and pushed in your face. And that to me is something that I've learned, perhaps that I fell foul to before. I think everyone falls foul to a certain extent. Before I spent so much time around guns and really getting to know all of the ins and outs about what is truly important and what really is not quite so important in a gun. Is it nice? Well, everything's relative, isn't it? What I have learned, I suppose, is an interesting tangent about what I think is actually genuinely important in a gun. And the number one thing is love. You need to love your gun. Maybe not the physical looks, but you need to have a relationship that you pick your gun up and you know that you're going to work together well with it. And that can mean anything. Personally, I think there needs to be a looks factor there as well. I like to look at my guns. It's like you wouldn't go out and buy an intentionally ugly car if there was an option to buy a pretty car that was the same. Handling, balance, and overall weight, and the weight distribution that goes into that balance, not just a technical balance point, but a full spread of balance over a gun is probably the most important thing with any gun. When you pick up a gun that feels lumpy, it does not shoot half as well in reality to one that doesn't. And I've shot a fair number of guns now. The difference is not major, but it's the difference between you just swinging that gun around and shooting well versus having to work that gun. And how tired you are subconsciously from doing that after 100 clays will be vastly different from one gun to another. A badly balanced gun versus a well-balanced gun. I've spent a lot of time in this time, I've learned a huge amount about gun fit, all sorts really. The problem is, without all the marketing hype and the creation of a perhaps less than palatable culture that comes with certain aspects of that, I find it amusing that as a country we don't value some of the beautiful old guns that we've got to handle. You can go and buy for £3,000 a 100-year-old gun that is unbelievably beautiful, hand-built and everything. And I mean, probably it's coming across that my main gripe is marketing hype. It's not, but it is something that is probably one of the bigger issues. One of my bigger negatives that I've found is all these things that people come out with. It's really rare that anyone actually comes out with something new. That annoys me. I think my biggest negative that I've learned is that there is really no reason that the gun trade should not be way ahead of where it is now in development. And please don't ask me what that looks like, because I don't really know. And we kind of did master the art of the modern shotgun 100 years ago, but that's only because we haven't really moved on far from that. We had some tangents with really high rib guns and other things over the years, and those things do stay. And fashions change and fashions develop. And the level of shooting also develops a bit, mostly because, well, I say that is in the last 30 years, clay shooting has become a big thing. Before then, it really was not half as big as it is now. So of course the standard comes because there's more people coming into the sport and there's more avenues for good quality training. There you go. So what I've learned is that you don't really need to buy a modern gun to have a lot of fun. And the fact that most people do it for fun, I find it interesting that most people will then go out and, because of the marketing hype, buy perhaps a high-level competition gun that they don't need, never will need, and won't make their lives any better, apart from perhaps maybe an advert, and their friends who've seen the advert and the culture that's created that told them that it would be better accordingly. There you go. I've lost all hopes of future sponsorship and all my friends that I've made over the last few years.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. Who is us? So if you want to support us and you can be part of our sponsorship program, you can become a channel member. There's a button down there that says join, click it, there's a link in the description, and you can support our channel. You get loads of free content, you get members exclusive videos. It's great, and you get to support us in the work we do, which I hope you enjoy, which is why you're watching. Anyway, let's carry on.
I think as a thing, the gun culture, the gun community, where certainly in the UK we're such a small market, there's no need to rush and develop because the market is neither rushing nor developing. And if you come out with something new, there seems to be, from my experience of now sort of behind the curtains, a very large community of traditionalists and staunch characters within the gun trade and community who will poo-poo it, and then all the sheeple will follow them and go, nah, it's crap. You know, it's not actually. You need to look at these things with fresh eyes. And I suppose that's something, the biggest thing that I've learned is the limits of my own knowledge and the vastness of my own ignorance. And as I said, the huge numbers of completely unqualified opinions out there. So I'm really at a stage in my career with guns that I'm not entirely sure where I stand. I know that I know a fair amount, but I also know that I know absolutely nothing. And it's at this point, I'm told, in people's careers, one decides what you're going to specialize in because it will take the rest of your life to dedicate to really truly learn one art. If I had formulated one wish over this time, it would be that manufacturers just stop creating boring, regurgitative crap. And I understand why they do it, because it's a, you know, there's an economy to be driven. But new thinking and new ideas, definitely onwards and upwards. It should be people creating these wild guns that just, you know, make your jaw drop. Jaw-dropping guns should be the aim of every gun manufacturer out there. Even at the base end, there's no reason that you couldn't create a jaw-dropping Silver Pigeon if you were Beretta. Maybe. Or maybe I'm missing the point, and that it is, you know, we live in a capitalist world, so let's just enjoy it for what it is and save up 100 grand and then build your dream gun, because why should it be affordable for 3 grand? There's your answer. Guys, take care. That's what I've learned, to be a commie. Guys, have a great day.